Hi, we are Group 1 and please introduce yourselves. I'm Celeste.
I'm Jazro.
I'm Tracy.
I'm Madison.
I'm Jessie.
Okay, so today we will be reviewing Thor Ragnarok. Okay, so Tracy, you wanna start us off?
So the movie is called Thor Ragnarok and it's a mixture of action, comedy, fantasy, superhero, science fiction and adventure film. And the movie was released on 10 October 2017 and it also goes on for 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah, this film is directed by Taika Waititi, who is a recent film director. And also this is his first time to direct this kind of movie. His work have Two Car, One Night, action, boys, and so on. So Jessie, do you know who is the main character in this film?
In the film, the main character is played by Chris Hemsworth and Tom Hiddleston and Tessa Thompson. And Chris Hemsworth is protagonist. He played the Thor in this film. Also, he is the hero of Kingdom. And have interesting guy is the green guys. Also, he is a sidekick, but he's important character in this film. If Thor can convince Hulk to switch back into puny Barna form, perhaps he will have an ally with the smart to help them both aspects.
Hero is played by Cate Blanchett, who is Thor's sister. She is the mistress and the powerful in Valiant, and he rules a demon of death and owns a death force. Tom Hiddleston, who is Thor's brother Loki, he was a book 3 in this film. As far as we know, he has always been a villain before, but in this film he has changed, and finally he helps Loki. He helps his brother Thor to beat her two great hero. Does anyone in the place did impress you?
In my opinion, every movie will need at least one character that bring joy and jokes to the audience, because the movie can always serious all the time. So the joke man in that character that makes people laugh, and also my remarkable and memorable science and character. So what do you think?
In my opinion, I think Hero is act well because although she don't have a lot of lines, but her action is very powerful. When she wore dress in long hair with fierce eyes, and when he stood in the universe of death on the ground, it seems like as long as he move a finger, he can bring a dark. So he make me very impressed. Yeah. And you guys know, actually there are not of many famous stars in this film, such as his sister Hera, who had many respective works before, such as The Lord of the Rings, Cinderella, especially Cinderella has grossed more than 200 million worldwide. But in this role, this is her first time to play as a villain.
And Chris Hemsworth, he has a lot of work like Thor, Avenger, and Snow White, and Huntsman. And he has many awards, like the more popular comedy action actor in 2013.
I've watched previous Thor films and they've never been this funny. I think they took a different route this time because I was aware that Deadpool was a success and they made this humor a lot more PG and a lot more relatable, especially for the younger audiences. So they had different memes and jokes in that people would understand. Like they had the shake weight, and also they had the "you had one job" meme, and a lot of the younger kids would recognize this as something that they view on social media. And yeah, so I felt that each of the characters had very distinct roles, and it was through the way they spoke and the things that they spoke about, it made them very uniquely them. And so it starts off with Thor having a monologue. He's talking to himself, but he's also introducing to the audience why he's there, and that gives a bit of introduction for the people who didn't watch the previous movies, and this will kind of steer us in the direction where we can understand the film better. And while it is part of a franchise, it also can be a good standalone film. And so I felt that the script was very exciting, but it was also very amusing. And what impressed me more was that they developed a character that wasn't there in the previous two films, which was Hela, and she was a new character. And I felt that her development and the things that she said, it really brought out how she was very brutal and very evil, and her whole look and all that, it just added to what she said and how she said it, and I thought that was very impressive. And at the end of the film, I felt that it was good that they kind of had this wide shot of all the main characters, and they all had their own lines, and I felt that because they had already made the characters very distinct from the start, these last lines made the characters more memorable. So we would remember them for how they talked or the things that they said, and you know, it also kind of brought about like a little bit of curiosity, like, oh, what's gonna happen next, and also, will I be seeing more of this character? So I just felt that, yeah, the script it really helped to kind of bring a story together, but also an idea that, you know, that would be a continuation, and I was pleasantly surprised, especially by the humor. So yeah, we kind of analysed like a lot of the parts of the film, and so in conclusion, based on the script alone, I would say that it was a very refreshing new take on especially like a Marvel movie, and where the focus was not just on the story but also on, you know, making people really enjoy the film. Yeah.
So I definitely agree with what Ceci has said. Like having woven in all the script, the effects and all that stuff, yeah, it definitely makes it a good film. So if I were to strictly like evaluate this film, I think what actually really caught my attention was definitely the appearance of the Hulk. Hulk's appearance actually serves to address like the continuation from the story Avengers: Age of Ultron. Audiences who have watched Avengers, they wouldn't be left hanging, and they will actually, like, their curiosities will actually be addressed in this Thor Ragnarok. Yeah, so I think the appearance of Hulk definitely hypes up the viewership of this entire film. Another thing is also the use of comical elements. I think they have used it really well, the directors and all that. They have really used the comical elements in this film really well. I think the first thing that is pretty obvious is the frequent banter between Thor and the Hulk. Like, it's really frequent, and it's really like, it really brings the whole mood up, and it lightens it. It just makes like the audience feel like really like it's a light-hearted film. And the thing is that this is pretty different from all the previous Thor prequels, which are more on the dark and gloomy side. So I think the director was most probably trying to take like a different trajectory from all the previous prequels. So that was something that
caught my attention. Apart from comical elements, I think they really did really well by using different references, and people, audiences who are like a great fan of the Marvel series would definitely have caught all those references. For instance, like there was this part where Thor tried to calm the Hulk down, and he said something like, sun's getting real low, sun's getting down. It's actually a reference to the Avengers Age of Ultron, where Natasha, or the Black Widow, actually said this phrase to Hulk when she wanted him to turn back into Bruce. So all these references, I'm pretty sure the audiences will have caught it, and it's definitely something that made this film different from others. I think the winning point of this film is also definitely the characters themselves. Like, you have Thor, who is obviously, like, he himself, I think, is actually a clear representation of narcissism and heroism, and probably also self-glorification. You can see he has a very high self-esteem from the start, like we probably all know that. But despite so, he was actually able to also showcase how he was able to showcase his humorous side while still being able to be that powerful figure in the film, like him being the main protagonist and all that. So another thing was also that we saw how Thor actually got like the director actually made use of the plot to give Thor like a haircut, like from his the iconic hair, that long hair that all the audiences know. So I think it's pretty fun to see how they tried to give him a new fresh image by just giving him a haircut. So overall, I think like Thor is definitely a figure that people would pay a lot of attention to. So overall, right, I think the progression of the film is really what made this film a good one. Like we all know how Thor is that powerful, invincible figure, but from the start to the end, the directors actually made an effort to show how like there was like certain downfalls, certain obstacles that he had to overcome, and he was actually shown as pretty vulnerable in those circumstances. But eventually at the end, he showed himself to be truly invincible, and he lived up to the name of Lord of Thunder. So this interesting like progression was actually what kept the plot running, and I think that's what kept audiences like continuously curious and excited throughout the entire film. So overall, I think I would give the film a 4.5 out of 5 stars. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think so too. It was good. Yeah.
Okay.
So this has been our review for Thor Ragnarok. You should definitely go check it out. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Bye.
Bye.